I'm still dying to know, what did Woody do in the 30 years before he became Andy's toy? Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. Today I'm going to be ranking the 4 Toy Story films as part of my franchise Rankography series. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, ranked lists, and trailer reactions. So, what's a Rankography exactly? Well, it's my ranking of a filmography, whether that be a director's output, an actor's appearances, or even an entire franchise. My rankographies are based on personal preference, and I rank movies according to how much I enjoyed them, rather than any specific technical merit or attribute. Remember, this is just my ranking, not the ranking, so be sure to post your own personal ranking of the Toy Story franchise in the comments below. As far as franchises go, Toy Story is easily one of my absolute favorites. Not only are the films truly great, but I have the added benefit of nostalgia, having literally grown up with the movies and their characters. The first Toy Story movie came out when I was 5 years old, so this franchise really has been a part of almost my entire life. Growing up, I never had any Toy Story toys, so I never actually got the chance to play with Woody or Buzz. But weirdly, it's like I have memories of doing so. The movies were so well crafted that it was like these characters were real, so I kind of lived vicariously through Andy when it came to his relationship with Woody, Buzz, and the whole gang. They were his toys, but they were mine too. So that deep connection makes this an incredibly difficult rankography for me. I truly love every single one of these movies. There isn't a bad Toy Story film. There isn't even a just okay Toy Story film. The lowest rating I've given to any of these movies is 4.5 out of 5 paws. So having to rank them from worst to best kinda killed me inside a little, cause even the worst Toy Story movie is still a spectacular movie. I've already reviewed all 4 of these movies on this channel, so if you want to check those out for some more in-depth thoughts on each of them, I'll put the links in the description below, and I'll also link them up in the cards as we go along. Alright, let's get this rankography started. Coming in at number 4, Toy Story 4. The previous 3 films had set an incredibly high bar for this movie. On top of that, this movie was at a disadvantage from the moment it was announced because the justification for its existence was in question, considering the perfect conclusion to Toy Story 3. Although I was still incredibly nervous walking into the theater, I didn't let any of that external stuff influence my ultimate judgment of the film. And I gotta say, I was extremely impressed with this one. It manages to continue the story and development of the characters I've loved for 24 years, while somehow not cheapening or diminishing the emotional impact of Toy Story 3. This movie delves into deep themes regarding identity and moving on, but it still has the clever humor that has become a staple of the franchise. I love the film, but it is the only Toy Story movie that I've been able to find noticeable faults in, namely the sidelining of most of the original characters we've grown to love over the years, and as a result, this one takes the lowest spot in the rankography. I do want to note that I've only seen this movie one time so far, compared to the lifetime of rewatches the other 3 have gotten, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if my feelings on this film, and maybe even the order of this ranking, shift some over the coming years. Coming in at number 3, Toy Story 2. Of all the movies in this rankography, this is the one that hurt the most to place, cause I love this movie, and it doesn't feel like it deserves to be in 3rd place, but the other movies are just so good. Toy Story 2 is without question one of the best animated sequels of all time. This movie came out in the midst of Disney's direct-to-video sequel heyday and stood high above those other films. It was only Pixar's 3rd ever movie, and their only sequel until Toy Story 3 was released 11 years later, but it managed not only to recapture the fun of the first movie, but to expand on it too. This isn't just a rehash of Toy Story 1. This is a proper story in its own right that calls back to the things that made the first film so great, while also adding greatly to the humor and adventure. The stakes are higher here, and the characters all continue to develop and evolve. Toy Story 2 expands on many of the original characters, pulling toys like Rex, Mr. Potato Head, and Slinky Dog right into the action this time around. But it also introduces some fantastic new characters, most notably Jessie and Bullseye. It's honestly hard to remember a time when they weren't part of the group. That's how integral they are to the Toy Story family. But where Toy Story 2 really shines is in its themes. The first film had wonderful messages, but this sequel brought a level of emotionality to the story that was wholly unexpected. Jessie's story and the accompanying When She Loved Me montage remains one of the most emotional scenes in an animated film, and really set the stage for the emotional storytelling that Pixar has become known for. Coming in at number 2, Toy Story 3. If the second film served as the beginning of Pixar's development of emotional tales, Toy Story 3 is unequivocally the peak. The emotional heft of this film is unreal, and anybody who grew up with the franchise and these toys will certainly be reduced to a sobbing mess by the end of this movie. I know I am. I've seen this movie dozens of times since it was released back in 2010, when I was already an adult, by the way, and I've cried every single time. This film takes the thematic layering of its two predecessors and greatly expands on them, really hammering home the theme of growing up and exploring what that means for not only Andy, but his toys as well. While certainly the most emotional film in the franchise, Toy Story 3 isn't all tears and heaviness. It's an incredibly fun film with some of the most humorous moments and bits of dialogue in the whole franchise. Like all the other movies, Woody is technically the main character, but this movie really gives the other toys their due. Other than the notable absence of Bo Peep, the other core toys all get plenty of screen time, and aren't just present for the sake of being there. They all contribute to the plot and progression of the story as well. This film provides the perfect end to the toys' time with Andy, and cements the first 3 Toy Story films as one of the greatest trilogies of all time. So that means my number 1 Toy Story film is the original Toy Story. I gotta say, the margin between Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 3 is so small that this almost went the other way for me, but I've gotta give the edge to the original film. This was the beginning of it all. The beginning of Toy Story, the beginning of Pixar, and the beginning of computer animated feature films. If it weren't for Toy Story 1, there never would have been a Toy Story 3. But it's not the mere existence of this film that earns it the top spot for me. This movie introduced a premise that has sparked the imaginations of millions of kids for nearly 2.5 decades. What if your toys were alive? The ideas introduced so cleverly in this first film form the foundation of everything to come in the franchise, and the dual-level humor made it entertaining and engaging not only to kids, but to adults as well. A great premise and comedy are nice, but this film, and the franchise as a whole, wouldn't have been anything without its characters. Woody and Buzz Lightyear are such an iconic pair, and the relatability of their characters and the realism of their rivalry-turned friendship heighten this film significantly. A memorable cast of secondary characters like Mr. Potato Head, Ham, Rex, Bo Peep, RC, and Slinky Dog round out the group to create a set of toys that you couldn't wait to see more of. Yeah, this is a movie about animated toys, but these toys and their kid are real. Their impact on me was real, and they'll always have a friend in me. Alright, so that's my rankography of the Toy Story franchise. 4 films full of fun, adventure, humor, and heart, and 4 films that I truly love. What does your ranking look like? I'd love to see some reasoning for your order, so make sure you post it in the comments below. Also, be sure to check out my reviews of all 4 Toy Story films for some more in-depth discussion of each, as well as my ratings, pros and cons, and even tailored film recommendations. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this rankography, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe to see more rankographies like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainely Movies, the way life should be.